Good morning. This is Wendy Rosenthal, and I am with Rachel Madar, and we are Pathfinder Mastermind. Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
I am well. Happy week. Happy,
Happy new
wonderful
week.
week to all of us.
Happy Martin Luther King's birthday. And how many of you are sitting with your kids at
Yeah.
home right now? We come to you live when we have something that we want to share. We are Pathfinders. We work with business people from entrepreneur to CEO to help them rethink and reframe and take their businesses up to the next level by bridging the gap between business and spirituality. We believe that spirituality adds an element to business that really is beyond just emotional intelligence. We talk a lot about spiritual IQ and how having that spiritual foundation can really impact and elevate the success that you have in your business and with the people that are working for you to really inspire new thinking in this kind of new world that we're living in. So thank you so much for joining us today. Today, Rachel and I wanted to talk about the fact that both of us kind of were having a little bit of low energy. You know, it happens to everybody. You know, you wake up in
Yeah.
the morning and you're either feeling a little off or you're worried or stressed about something that's going on. And a lot of our clients actually talked to us about this, but it was kind of interesting that she and I both had that feeling today of like, kind of like, not sure what I want to do, how I want to do it, if things are going the way I want them to, right? Right, Rachel?
Yes. It's interesting. It's like we're starting this week with this conversation that we have heard from many people, and even for us, like, how was our weekend? Amazing. But in the same time, there was like time, even yesterday, Sunday, for me, it was like low energy. I don't feel like I have so many things on my to-do list and I don't feel like it. I don't
Exactly.
feel like it to do it. So how we come in with motivation and excitement into this week with more of the to-do list.
Exactly. And we want to make sure that you, as we talk through this, that at the end of this, at this in every session, we'd like to give you a couple of tips on what we're using right now in order to help us bring that spirituality into our
Yes.
workplace. And what we were talking about is really, it's very interesting. And I'm sure this is not something new that we're sharing with you, but you know, when you walk into your office or to your business and you've got something on your mind, or your energy is down, or you're worried and you have fear about something that you have to do, a lot of times we don't even realize the impact that we're making on those around us, and really the impact that we're making on our business, right? So from a spiritual standpoint, you know, it's not just about low energy. When we're in that place of kind of fear, anxiety, worry, you know, don't want to be here, not feeling fulfilled, you know, what we're doing is we are kind of cutting ourselves off from the source, right? If you think about it, if you think about there's a source of all energy, you know, let's say the creative force of the world, that force is always positive, right? It's a positive energy. It isn't a negative energy. And when we are in that space of worry and fear and concern, we're kind of like saying, you know, I don't want that positive energy. Isn't that right, Rachel?
Yeah, in one sense, this is like one answer to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, it's like we are cutting ourselves from like the cord that connect us to a source of all good, and in you know eh, when we are like that, obviously we're cut off from the thoughts that of creation for ourselves
Right.
into our life, the thoughts that brings into manifestation, and just like internal kind of excitement or happiness or motivation. Another reason for it, or another interpretation for it, it's like also give us, you know, it's interesting. Today I shared with one of our clients is that affirmation that it's like, I'm on the right path. Are you on the right path? Are you on your right direction, whatever it will be, in any direction that it will be? And then she answered, I think I am, but it's also confusing.
Mm.
Sometimes I'm confused. And there are reasons why we are confused, or we have low energy, or we don't feel like it, or whatever the reasons are, or we have anxiety or fear, because it's also allow us to sit back for a second, take the time to re-choose the business, or re-choose the path, or re-choose the person, or re-choose the day, or look into our daily to-do list that we spoke about last time. To look again is like to pause and to re-choose whatever we've put to ourselves. So we can look at it at both sides.
Right. And the point also is not just about ourselves, right? So when you're bringing that energy into the office or to the workplace, whatever that is, if you have a big presentation and you're fearful of what the outcome is going to be, let's say, then you're projecting that, whether you realize it or not, right? You're walking in, and instead of having that confident look, right, that's going to persuade whomever you're making the presentation to, whether it's a sales presentation or a presentation to your board, or whatever the circumstances is, how you walk into that room is going to be really important. So just an example of my own life, because I really believe in this, how energy works and how we portray it. I try very often before I'm making a big presentation to somebody to really like get into that mode of really not just saying I feel confident, but really believing I'm confident, right? And feeling that. And I'll never forget, I was walking into a presentation with the CEO of a very major company in New York. And I had done some work beforehand, and we'll share a couple of tips, okay? To really say, I'm going to be presenting this. Yeah, it's in front of a big CEO. The man like controls hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. He's a little intimidating, but I know what I'm bringing to the table is something he can't do. Right. So I got like confident, and I used some of the tips that we'll share in a few minutes. And I walked in, and I didn't realize this, how I looked. Like I just walked in, I just said, I'm going to do great. Two of the people who were in the room before, who were the people that were presenting me to the CEO, walked over and said, "You're glowing. Like you're literally glowing. What's going on?" And I just said, "I'm really excited that I get the opportunity to meet and present to this gentleman. Like, it's very exciting." And they're like, "Wow," and walked away. And I'm not telling you this to pat myself on the back. I'm telling you this because it works. Like I walked into a room and my energy field shifted how other people felt. Right. Yes. And that's something that when you look at spirituality and you understand the concept of energy and how it moves and how much you control of it, you can really use it to your advantage, right?
Yeah, because it's something that we also shared before we come on this live, is that we can speak a lot about business and business tips, and for sure there are so many business coaches and advisors that can give you so much direction about how you create your business, how you maintain your business, how you do the business plan, and so forth. But when we come from a spiritual interpretation, or additional to how you conduct your business with spirituality, we know that you cannot run away from yourself. So we cannot run away from who we are, the way we feel, the way we think, how it's affecting our personal environment, and how it's affecting the business, whether we are the employee or the owners, or whatever the position we have. So it's always about understanding what is our first intention, where we're coming from. And even if we feel depleted, if we feel despair, if we feel any sort of anxiety for whatever reasons, maybe something else that took place over the weekend that not relate to work or my business project that I'm working on, affecting me. So how my reactions, how my thoughts, how my behaviors affecting the rest of my colleagues and my environment. So we cannot run away from ourselves. It's very important to know that. And this is why we're coming with this different types of tips for you, everyone there, that to take into consideration. So we working with business and spirituality, bring it together.
Exactly. And also, I want to make a point about something you said, Rachel. You know, it's not, it's, you can't run away from you, but also just because you're concerned about what your energy is, you also can't fake it, right? You
Exactly.
need real tools that'll help you shift that energy. If you're feeling anxious, like for example, if you're a small business owner, particularly right now, business is really rough. There's a lot of stuff going on.
It's
And
true.
feeling that worry or fear or anxiety, it's like you can't pretend it doesn't exist. We're not saying don't feel it. Okay? What we're saying is that understand that your energy impacts the world around you, and it will impact your employees. It will impact your how you make decisions, even when you're coming from a place of fear, anxiety, low energy. It impacts possibly very big decisions that you have to make. So what we're saying is not to suppress the feeling.
No.
It's okay to have the feeling, but what we're saying is understand the energy of those feelings and how they ripple out to
Yes.
others, and how
Yes.
there are moments and there are ways to increase your energy while still dealing with the feelings that you have, because we are so not about suppressing feelings. That's the worst thing you can do, right?
No, and this is why one of the tips um, is to sit back for a second and to understand that those are the feelings that you feel, and identify what brings that feeling. Is it because of something that took place again over the weekend that put you down? And to check with yourself how it's affecting you. To just go, it it doesn't have to be too long. It can be like a 10 minutes of like, just sit back with yourself, reflect of what took place and what really pushed your buttons. And again, I'm bringing back the re-choose. Okay, so this what took place. I'm aware of it. Can I take care of it at the moment? Can I fix something about it at the moment in a practical sense? Or is it something that will need to take a different type of direction, or I need help from someone else? So how practically am I approaching this? As we identify this, and then we need to move on to the rest of the day, but not to forget to go back and fix that.
Right. I think
Right?
that's important. So tip number one is really that you can choose. You can choose your day. You can choose to put the energy in a higher level, to vibrate at a higher level. You can make the choice that when and how you're going to deal with the things that you need to deal with. But to
Yes.
know that I'm re-choosing my business. I'm re-choosing how I walk into the room. I'm choosing how I'm going to engage with my employees or with my coworkers. So so in so the first tip is to sit down and to give yourself a couple of minutes to say, what am I choosing? Okay. Now,
Exactly.
by the way, if you're choosing, I just need to be in a crappy mood, then choose it, but don't bring it someplace else, right?
Exactly. And if it's like something that even if it's possible for you and you really choose to take not a couple of minutes, even like an hour for yourself, that you just like maybe sit with your coffee and listen to music that lift you up, and whatever it is, read something of a sense. Of course, we're bringing into the spirituality. If you have different spiritual tools like that you use, whether meditation or other tools, you're welcome to use it, as long as you align your vibration again back into who you really are and your essence, and then you do the next, which means it's like not to jump, bring this energy or bring the fear, anxiety, or whatever your feelings into your day, that it's going to affect your day. Like it's like a snowball effect. It's kind of like will touch every aspect during your day, that will if you're in a negative thoughts, if those are the emotions that coming up, it will be the results will be the same. If you are coming from a place of positivity, that you work through it and you inject the right energy into it, is of course it will affect the rest of the day. But don't be afraid to choose. Whatever you choose is the right thing, because this what it works for you at this moment. So sit back. Maybe you need to rewrite your to-do list.
Right.
Remember, we spoke about to-do lists. At least the to-do list brings you into practicality and align you with the day in a way.
So the second thing we wanted to talk about is a practice that has worked very well for both of us. One I use all the time. And that is when that little thought in your head, that little voice that says you can't do it, or everything's falling apart, or I hate this person, I don't want to work with them anymore, or whatever it is, gratitude for what you have helps bring you back to the present. What we want you to do is be present, okay? Because thinking about all those things that are kind of bringing up negativity, like masks all the positive things that you have, okay? So what I like to do is I'll sit down, that thought comes in my head, and immediately I'm like, okay, let's say it's I don't like a coworker, right? Or somebody a client that I'm working with. The first thing that I'll say is, I'm so grateful that because I have a job that I really like to do, that I'm grateful for the opportunity to engage with somebody that might have differing opinions because it helps me think out of the box. That I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to push myself, right? To see if I can deal with something. So whatever it is, I try and find the aspects of it that I'm really grateful for. And I have to tell you something, it really shifts me. And what I did on that day, before I walked into that meeting that I was telling you about, was I used this particular
Yeah.
tool. I sat there and I said, I am so grateful that I have this client that wants me to share my wisdom, my thoughts, my experience with them. I am so grateful that I get to present in front of this, very unique person that many people don't get an opportunity to meet. I am very grateful that I have the years of experience behind me, that I have the ability to actually present what I'm presenting with authority and confidence. I am grateful that I got to come to the client happened to be in New York, that I get to come to New York City because I love New York City and I hadn't been in a while, and the minute I started doing that, the confidence built and my fear dissipated. And like I said, apparently it showed on my whole aura changed. And the meeting went well, and I ended
Exactly.
up working for that client for over 18 months.
Exactly.
So
It's so powerful what you said. It's really so powerful what you said. Like to have that moment, even just to say, even for a sentence, I'm gratitude. I have the gratitude for this. I'm grateful for this. Automatically, it's connecting you back to that source that
exactly.
we mentioned at the beginning. Automatically, it's connect you back to the gifts that you already received in your life. It's kind of like direct connection. It's clicking the connection. It's like amazing.
And
Amazing.
when you do that, it doesn't matter what source you think about. It doesn't matter what it is, like whatever your source is, connecting to it is gonna allow for flow, positive energy to flow. And we want to give you the keys to allow that to happen. And the same thing with choosing.
Exactly.
When you choose and you own your choice, again, it's not about choosing, oh, I can only be happy. No, but if you own not being happy, but you recognize that your discontent has impact, then you're choosing to not impact others. And so you take your time, your hour, your half hour, you take the day off and say, I need to get into a better place, whatever that is. So those are really the two tools we wanted to share with you today. It's
Yes.
choosing, making a choice and owning it in terms of how you're going to show up. And two, connecting with gratitude. And both of those tools can be something you do 20 times during the course of your day. And you will
Exactly.
start to see how that impacts I mean, your decision making, the business people around you, the people you attract, because also what you project out there in the world is what you attract, right? So
Exactly.
if you're spending time in this energy of fear and anxiety and discontent, guess what's going to come your way? And we don't want that to happen, do we, Rachel?
No, we don't. And this is it's so powerful. And I hope that what we have shared with you today, even like to start the week like that, that will support you, and would love to hear from you how you re-choose, and what is the things that you're grateful for that supported you and helped you to move to your next step in the day or in the week. We would love to hear it from you.
Yeah, we would love to share how when you showed up differently, what happened? What was the
Yes.
result? All right. Thank you so much, Rachel. We want to remind everybody that you can find us at www.pathfinder1to1.com. That is Pathfinder, the number one, TO, the number one.com. We are always happy to talk with you. So if you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section of whatever social media platform that you are seeing this on. We work with clients all over the world. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And if something that we said really sparks something in you, please share it, because the fact of the matter is there is enough for all of us to be successful. And the minute we realize that, then sharing it with others not only gives them a benefit, but it also gives you a benefit. It helps you show up in a much better way.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Also, you can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms, and we look forward to seeing you the next time we are live. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.